Spies operated throughout the war in all sorts of situations. The very nature of their work was clandestine and secret. It was a dangerous occupation, for capture invariably meant death.
We were a company of the Young Soldiers Battalion. There was another platoon on the Newtonards end of the aerodrome on the Cumber Road. The sentry alerted me to the effect that you could see these flashes in the sky, and this single plane which came in very low. I actually seen the plane. It seemed to come from the town direction, and it dropped one single bomb which devastated the billets, and there was about, I think, roughly about 21 or 22 young soldiers killed and about 19 wounded. We were in Nissen huts, and these Nissen huts were directly in line with Scrabo Tower, and it was reported that there was a light being flashed from Scrabo Tower. Well, they suspected that somebody was, giving a signal to the German aircraft.
I went into solitary confinement in the interrogation centre. When I was brought out, in the desk, I was sat down at the desk, same officer interrogated me, but he didn't ask me any more questions. In front of him was sitting a file clearly marked 550 Squadron, which was my squadron, and the name of the squadron leader on it. He opened it and proceeded to tell me where I had been training. When you're training coming up to operations, you change stations quite often, and he gave me the exact record of what had happened to me within the last, say, 6 months. Well, I was astounded. You immediately think, well, who told him this? But I could assure you it wasn't any of my crew told this at all, because he actually sort of could mention places which I'd forgotten. I don't know how they would get information like that at all, other than having someone very close to records in the RAF. I would think there's a real spy ring.
I went to Stalegate B first. I was at Lambsdorff in Over Silesia. And I was always in contact with Czechs and one thing and all. And I happened to mention about getting radios. And the boy says, well, he says, I can get sets. I can't bring it in, I'll bring it in parts. If you got somebody to build it. Well, we had a bloke as a post office engineer. And I took it into the camp and I put it all around, and the boy built the sets up. Well, this PTA was sent in to tighten up discipline, and that was his job. But he happened to tell someone that we had these sets. All of a sudden, one morning we were told even the boys going on day shift were held back. There was Gestapo in brown shirts and ordinary police from the village and soldiers as well. And they tore the place apart. And the room I was in, I had left it one of them, and there was a bucket of slops sitting. And I left it set and threw it into the bucket of slops. And we walked out. They never even looked at the slops. But they got one, they got two, different other ones. And that was it. Well, we asked the guard, some of the boys asked the guard how they knew that they got it. And he said, pointed at the hut. He was working with the Germans. That's what he was doing. He was spying on people that were working